Hello everyone, welcome to the weekly intuitive card reading for the week of, let me see, July 22nd to 28th. Same thing as always, guys. Like this video, share this video with anybody that really needs to hear the energies of the week. Comments down below, feedback is always appreciated. Just be kind. Let me know if this resonates, let me know if this doesn't resonate. I always like to hear the feedback. And subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. And I think that's it. Same 4 decks shuffled, of course, but I actually think they might be the same order as last week. But whatever it is, this order works for me, feels intuitively right. And okay, that's it. Let's begin, guys. Let's see what the week has in store for us. All right, what do we need? Serendipity. Okay, so we need things to flow a little bit better. We need things to work out a little bit better. We need things to be in flow a little bit better. So serendipity is very similar to synchronicity in that way, where it kind of feels like everything kind of lines up. It has kind of like this extra energy feeling of taking a chance. So basically this could also mean for some of you guys out there, which again, I read for the collective, so that's a majority of you guys. So it's a large number, so it may not resonate, but some of you guys may need to take a chance this week and just have faith that everything is going to work itself out. That if it's meant to be, it'll be kind of situation. So I'm getting a little bit of an intuitive hit that it might be something related to maybe like a decision or something that you've been kind of mulling over for a while and haven't necessarily taken the leap on. You may have to do that. Spirit is asking us to do that. Again, use your own intuition with it, but we might actually need that. But we really do need things to start flowing a little bit better. And so because it's under need, it's telling me that, we need to start making the choices that fit that of a more aligned life. And how do we do that? We do that by doing the things that feel quote unquote good, right? That feel intuitively aligned for us, okay? That line up for us, that feel like our soul is asking us to make these choices, to make these moves, that kind of thing. So there's that. Let's see what action needed is asking for us, because it's also us taking action, right? Student, humility and devotion to knowledge, openness to lifelong learning. Okay, so we need to learn something as well. So maybe the leap that you need to take is going to actually help you learn something. You may be hesitating because maybe you feel like you're not at a place where you can go in this direction, that you don't know enough, right? And that's the thing about the student. It came up in the light, so it's a positive thing where it's saying like this opportunity or whatever this thing is right in front of us this week that's coming up is saying that we really need to take the opportunity even if we don't know everything. It's okay to learn things as we go. So you really need to do that. So if there's something that you're hesitating on that maybe, I'm not fully there, or people are going to laugh at me because I don't know everything. That's okay. It's not meant to be. It being next to the serendipity, it's like, no, you're supposed to learn on this journey. Okay. You're supposed to learn something. Okay. So maybe it's a career thing at work. Somebody's asking you to do something. You're like, oh, I'm not that well versed in it. I'm not an expert, F the expertise, right? Basically it's saying it's like, you're not supposed to be an expert, okay? It's okay if you're at beginners, as a beginner stage, as long as you're willing to learn. That's what that's about. So whatever that is, guys, take that into consideration. Issue, justice. Okay. Justice is about balance, guys. How do I say this? So justice is about balance, okay? Why more people are not, don't always resonate with that, always kind of confuses me, or it gets me a little bit more curious. But we should all be seeking justice, basically. So we should all be seeking balance, and that's with our life, and that's actually how the universe is built, okay? And that's how it's kind of goes with what serendipity is saying here. It's kind of saying like we got to get into the flow of things. Like things that are meant to be will happen. Like, how do I say this? I'm going to butcher a quote. What is for you won't pass you, right? And so that's like a good theme to kind of like think about this week for sure with the serendipity. But with the justice, it's kind of saying that so it's under issue. So basically it's saying we're not necessarily thinking about this. We're not necessarily thinking about balance. We're not necessarily thinking about justice. This could be something, again, I read for the collective for these readings. So that means, if people don't know out there, it means the general population. This could be something that's kind of going on in the actual world. I don't usually talk about stuff like that, but this might be something that is unjust in a larger scale that might actually be affecting you this week because it's under issue. But again, it could also mean twofold, meaning that you're not necessarily thinking about it enough, okay? But it comes into your reality this week or something along those lines. When it comes to the balance thing, it could also mean that we're not necessarily balancing things. We're not doing things in the fairest way possible, okay? And that's kind of calling people out there. And that's okay, right? Because we're all about improving ourselves. We're all about, we want spirit to call us out because that's how we improve, right? We all have our shadow selves. We all have, we all have things that we need to improve on. Nobody's perfect, and that's part of the human experience. But there is something here where we're not necessarily being fair, okay? And I'm looking at you guys, so really think about how that transpires during the week, how it manifests. But it's definitely becoming an issue this week, okay? So all of those things I mentioned are becoming more of a problem in your lives, okay? So think of it that way. Okay, next card, challenge. Let's see if it's similar. Release the old and rest. Okay, we're also having challenges with releasing what doesn't serve us anymore. We're also having challenges with, we could also be having challenges with how we're resting. That could be part of the imbalance here going on. Maybe it is an overworking, but again, I feel like it's more towards fairness as far as balance goes. And again, maybe grander scale things kind of going on in the world. But basically this is saying that we're not, it's a challenge to release what we're holding on to. So there's something that we're holding on to that doesn't serve us anymore. And again, we could be not allowing us to take a breath and rest. So yeah, there's not too much more I could say about that. Let's move on to what is actually changing. TikTok. Okay. So TikTok is always about time, like a time limit, like counting down time. So the changes is that time is changing. And so actually this one could have a couple of meanings too, because the spirit is throwing things at me right now. So sorry if I'm going like a little fast here, but so there could be a time limit on something for some of you guys where it's like you're running out of time for something, and that's going to change because it's going to finally run out of time. So this could line up with what I'm talking about in this, in the beginning of the row here, where it's saying like, there's something that we've been kind of prolonging, maybe because we feel like we're not an expert at it. So this is saying like TikTok, like you feel the pressure, like it almost feels like spirit is giving me this energy of like being in a pressure cooker of some kind. But it could also mean that times are changing. So it could just mean that you're moving into a different cycle, or at least trying to, because we're next to the challenge and we're having issues like releasing something. And maybe, yes, we're running out of time, but it's like we're moving to a new cycle almost. Like that's what it's feeling like to me. So we are running out of time with something. We are prolonging and holding on to something that really needs to, again, end. And it's funny, you guys know I do numerology. I kind of weave it into the reading sometimes. There is this is similar to, like, I'm feeling some 9 energy up here, but we do have a 30, and obviously this card doesn't have a number, but I definitely do get that feeling up there where it's kind of like time's almost up. It's important that that's like the times are changing. Like it's almost like times are changing. That could also have something to do with the Justice card and the social stuff that I'm talking about, or the grand things, grand scheme of the world, like that kind of thing, that we're running out of time to do something. To take action, okay? Even though we have rest on this card, autumn here, and that usually is like a, like a, let's take a break, let's take a breather kind of thing. It's still saying we need to take action on something that has a time limit, okay? So maybe rest with everything else, but the things that really tick-tock, maybe take action on that. That's what Spirit is trying to say. So it definitely does feel like we're in a pressure cooker of some kind, but the fact that it's under change tells me it could also mean that we're going into like a new cycle of some kind. So I like to see that. I don't know about you guys, but I like it. Focus, Hermit. Okay, so there's more. Seek solitude to focus intently on inner life, serves personal creativity. Okay, so this is really about more introspective type work. more spending time in solitude, so focusing on that, which makes sense because we got that rest card here. But again, take action on the things that have a time limit, okay? So focus on that. Interested to see what comes under responsibilities, but really, whether it's like a deadline at work, like listen to deadlines, okay? That's the best thing I can say here because they are changing. So there's going to be a new deadline, but also new cycle for a lot of us, okay? Reflect. What do we need to reflect on? Courage. Okay. So reflecting on our strength, reflecting on our courage. So as we do our introspective work this week, focus on what makes you feel brave, what makes you feel confident. We've kind of been having confident type energy come in and out of these readings. So it pops up every once and again. To me, we're slowly getting our power back. That's how it feels. Sometimes I have cards that I call power cards that really help us feel more empowered, feel more in control, feel more courageous, like something like this card. So this is basically reflecting on in what situations or what certain things or in what type of energy do you feel the most powerful? Do you feel the most courageous? What makes you the most strong? What do you have to do to get there, basically? Because we really need to have this confidence, this courageous type energy, because we do get that fear card every once in a while too. So we do toggle back and forth, it seems, but we really want to get to a place where we're kind of leveling off, where we're kind of like on a steady, no matter what's happening on the outside, we have that inner power within, and so we feel confident at all times. So that's really, that was a mouthful, but those are good journal things to journal prompts to really marinate on, because we want to have you feeling, Spirit wants us to be feeling powerful at all moments, even when things are crumbling around us or other people are saying this or doing this. Having other people's actions affect us is not necessarily, obviously it's a very human thing, right? But having more of a strong inner core is what Spirit is asking us to reflect on here, and how to get it, right? Situations that make you feel most powerful. Responsibilities, Hermit. Guys, Hermit from two separate decks here. Hello, rest up here. Okay, so we need some downtime. Okay, so maybe you guys have been going like a little, 70 miles per hour because maybe it's the summertime. If you're in a place with seasons, I know we have autumn, so autumn is pretty much saying like no more summer, now it's autumn, like slow down. I hope that has nothing to do with the weather, that's for sure. But definitely retreat, recharge, that's your responsibilities for the week. But again, if something has a time limit, if something has a deadline, focus on those. If you have to kind of get out of your hermit mode to do something, do that. Hopefully that makes sense. Money, finances, and career, what do we got going on? We have co-create. Okay, we've gotten this a couple times. So basically, partnership is good. Co-creation is good. That's how we're going to get the most out of money, finances, and career. I think we've gotten, not only have we gotten the card before, we've gotten in money, finances, and career. So it's a really good week to partner with somebody. It's really a good week to do a project with somebody. It's a really good week to, and if you want to take that a step out and say not just co-creating with a coworker or a colleague, co-creating in a partnership with somebody, obviously in a romantic sense. Interested to see what romantic connection has, but also too taking that one a step up and saying co-creating with the universe, right? Because we're always in co-creation, so it's a good week for manifestation as well. So could mean a few different things there, but partnership is supported, co-creation is supported. Utilize that and you'll get far this week. Surprise, magical child in the shadow, pessimism, depression, and disbelief in miracles, believing that energy and action are not required for growth. Okay, pessimism, don't love this. Okay, so it's, but again, we're only human, so it's upside down. I never put them upside down. Why did I do that? Okay, but it did come in upside down. So so we're being pessimistic. We're being we're not believing things are possible. We're being a little bit of a Debbie Downer. We're thinking a little bit more negatively than usual. That's okay. Could have something to do with what's kind of going on in the world. I don't blame you guys. Could be because you have a looming deadline. Could be because you are not recharging yourself and you really do need to recharge. Okay. So it definitely does feel like this, a little bit of this depressive energy, this pessimistic energy. It's under surprise. So that tells me it's not the full week, okay? It's not going to be the energy of the week where it's the underlying base foundation of the week. It's just saying it might come out of might come out of nowhere. And it might come as a surprise. The fact that it's under surprise also tells me people that run a little bit more optimistically might feel like a little bit of hopeless type energy. Totally normal. We get ourselves out of the funk really quickly because it is under surprise. Like I said, it's not the foundation of the week. It's not the foundational energy of the week. So we're okay with that. So this honestly applies to me because I feel like I am foundationally a little bit more optimistic. So not looking forward to that. But what I can tell you is I'm getting an energy of impermanence, which everything is, right? Every type of emotion is, but very, very, very temporary. But might come out of nowhere. So not great, but it happens, right? We can't just be, it's not sunshine, butterflies, and unicorns all the freaking time. Friends, guidance. Okay, friends are good for guidance this week, whether you guide them or you're being guided by someone that you can trust. So I feel like it's really good for friendships. Go to people that you can trust. We've been getting like on and off messages about not listening to other people to, yes, maybe, your friends are a good guiding light. And I think we got that last week or maybe the week before. So it still holds true for that, where it's saying like, if there's somebody that you trust that you can go to, definitely continue to lean on them for guidance and support. So love that. At least, it feels like to me, like Spirit is saying, like, at least you have one person that you could trust for all of this. So yeah. Okay. Romantic connection, stag, trust and thrive. Okay, so this is really about having trust and then being able to thrive. Thriving is great because it's the opposite of surviving. So romantic connection to me means that it being under the romantic connection means that you're actually thriving in your relationship. It's a very headstrong type energy. So to me, that means like more like assertive. And kind of guidance, right? Being the leader, and just like really infinitely trusting that everything is going to work itself out, like the serendipity card, right? And we need that, right? And so basically that could obviously apply to our romantic connections, but not only are you trusting, you're also leading at the same time. So there's this overwhelming feeling of being able to trust where the romantic relationship is going, but also help lead the way. So it's actually a lot of masculine energy here. So again, I don't know how many times I have to remind you, but I always have to put a disclaimer. I don't care what gender or sex that you are. We all have masculine and feminine energy. So this is pertaining to everybody's masculine energy is on within the relationship, within their romantic relationship. And it's a positive thing. Okay. So, perhaps you've wanted to, it's not a negative thing. I'm talking to people out there that really, if you might identify as female and you really want the feminine energy within your relationship because you want that traditional type dynamic. Okay, I won't get too much into it, but you're going to be a little bit more in your masculine, but it's going to be a positive thing. Like you might have to take the lead this week. And again, it's a positive thing. Trust that it is like that. And that's where the trust comes in. Trust that it's a positive thing. Okay. So don't poo-poo on it. Don't be angry about it. Obviously feel what you need to feel, but it's not something in the negative. I'll tell you that. Definitely getting pretty positive energy here. Okay. So there's that. What's important? So many things are important, but let's see. No place like home. We got this last week, okay? I remember it was in the need because this energy was so freaking strong. It is less strong, okay? So this tells me that we did that last week. We went back to our hometown. We went back home, spent time with our family, made the comfort food last week, got really in touch with our higher self, whatever you consider going back home, okay? No place like home, right? The Wizard of Oz, right? Follow the yellow brick road. But it's important that we still do that, okay? It's important that we still hold that energy, continue to nourish ourselves. I will say this too, and I don't think I used this word last week, but it's definitely coming up this week, nostalgia. Okay, so don't be like afraid to, I'm never a super fan of, I've never really been like a super fan of nostalgia And what I mean by nostalgia is like kind of going back to like reminisce and kind of like holding on to the past, especially since we have that, it might have something to do with this as well, where we're afraid to kind of release the old because it does bring us nostalgia. But it is important to honor it, okay? Everything has a light, everything has a shadow. So basically it's saying honor the nostalgia, but let it go when you need to let it go. Just things that bring you comfort essentially are still important, but again, know when to let go, know when it goes, off the deep end, really into the shadow, and work on it obviously, but it is important to make yourself feel like home, whether again, that might be continuing to connect with higher self, soul, to your foundation of who you are, or again, maybe it's time for another trip home, whatever it actually is, okay? Or maybe you went home last week and you're still there. I don't know. But it is important to still honor that, is what Spirit is saying. Health and wellness. What do we got here? This one always makes me nervous. Avenger, desire to balance the scales of justice, righteousness on behalf of society or oneself. Okay, this is what I'm talking about, guys. I'm telling you, I do not, if you are new to me, just know I do not believe in coincidences, okay? I don't even let one thing slide, okay? 2 hermits, 2 justice cards, okay? These are not cards we get all the time, okay? Sometimes we get go energy. Sometimes we do get balance cards, but really specifically talking about justice. I'm telling you guys, there's something kind of big going on in the world on a community scale, okay, where it might be affecting us in some type of way. It's affecting us more, where we want things to change more. We want to do more justice. We want to make sure things are fair. So we do get involved more. The fact that it's under health and wellness and it's under the Avenger archetype is that we really have a strong desire to really be fair, okay? The fact that it's under health and wellness tells me it might have something to do with whatever journey you're on, whether you're on a mental health journey, whether you're on a spiritual journey, if you're going through an awakening, or you are on a physical one, like I am. There might be something where you've just had enough of something and really want to step up, okay? So maybe this has something to do with, so Avenger is also like advocacy too. So the advocate is pretty close to this archetype. I believe there is an advocate. Yeah, there is the archetype in this deck somewhere, but it's similar. But Avenger is actually more so on society itself. So it definitely does feel like, because advocate is, well, again, similar. Because advocate is sometimes like advocating for yourself. You hear that all the time in the medical community, honestly, when people are on physical healing journeys. I've said it so much in the last 3 years that I'm so freaking sick of it, but I hear it so much in the chronic illness community. So, but this might be something to do with on behalf of more of other people, more so yourself. But again, it depends on, each individual, how it applies to you. So take it as it resonates, but it definitely does feel like you're looking for more justice, we're looking for more balance, and we're looking for more fairness in whatever health, wellness situation that we've got going on, okay? All right, and last one, overall outcome, we have balance. All right, seriously, you cannot make this stuff up. Justice is fairness, justice is balance, okay? So overall outcome is really finding balance in the way of fairness and justice more specifically. But again, it also might mean that, we've got the 2 hermits, right? That really sticks out here. We also have the courage. Like I said, we teeter back and forth between, confidence and not being so confident, okay? So we, feeling powerful, feeling disempowered, okay? So we are balanced. So it is a balancing act, right? And so we are becoming more balanced. So this is, sometimes it happens this way, sometimes it doesn't, but I definitely do feel like we are really, really focused on more fairness and more justice and more balance in general in our lives as a community, as individuals, as with whatever's kind of going on in the world, et cetera, et cetera. So, yeah. So I think that's it, right? Any questions down below, guys? Feedback, like I said, I always welcomed. And I'd love to see if any of this resonates with you guys. If it doesn't, totally fine. Take what does, leave the rest. And I hope you guys have a wonderful week. I see it as something really positive. It feels a little bit more, I don't want to say balanced, but it does feel like towards the end, more end of the week, we're going to feel that way. But it does, you know, that magical child in the shadow does stick out a little bit to me. You know, as the not so great bright spot, the dark spot, I guess I could say, in the week. But it's a lot of other positive things kind of going on. The deadline does worry me just a little bit, but that might also have something to do with the balance too, right? Because maybe we are leaving things to last minute. Maybe we are procrastinating too much, right? And then we're actually on a deadline that's changing, okay? So, but again, it could also mean new cycle. So love a new cycle. All right, I've talked too much. I don't want to go over the entire reading again, but come back to this, guys, too, during the week, maybe towards the end of the week. See how things transpired. I always love doing that. And then, of course, put it down below. All right, guys, have a wonderful week, and I'll see you next time. Bye.